Let me ask you a question. Could you be suffering from a serious food addiction and not even be aware of it at all? This actually happened to me recently. I went out for lunch to a lovely, healthy, organic coffee shop with a friend that I haven't seen for ages, and she chose it because she is gluten-free. And we were sitting down having a lovely healthy meal, which you don't get many of in my local area, so this was a real treat for me. And I was just asking her about her diet and how she manages to stay gluten-free and why she's gluten-free. And I was asking her what food she avoids, and she said that really it's just two things that she avoids. She avoids gluten, and that's because she has to, that she feels so sick if she eats anything containing gluten. She notices immediately, and she wouldn't be able to drive herself home because she'd be falling asleep, and it would just, her symptoms would be so severe. And the other thing was, the other thing that she avoids is chocolate. And I said, are you intolerant to chocolate? And she said, no, I'm not intolerant to chocolate, but I am addicted to it, and I just can't eat it without losing control of myself. So I have decided that I'm never ever going to eat anything with chocolate in again. And there was actually a gluten-free cake that contained chocolate. There was a chocolate brownie, and it looked so delicious, and I ended up actually eating it. and she avoided it, and she had this other cake. I think it was a carrot cake, this gluten-free carrot cake. And she said, even if the only thing that was on the menu, the only cake that was on the menu was a gluten-free chocolate cake, I just wouldn't have cake, because I've made the decision not to ever eat chocolate again. And I said, why would you do that? And she said, because I've got an addictive personality, and I'm just really, really addicted to it. When I start eating it, I can't stop. I lose all sense of myself, and I just didn't like having that feeling of being addicted to it, so I just gave it up completely. And I just kind of took a step back, because for a while now I've been struggling with chocolate. Well, to be honest, it's been my whole life I've been struggling with chocolate, and I have given up chocolate for periods of time myself. Like, I've been on, say, the raw food diet for 6 months, and all sorts of other types of strict diets I've been on in the past. And sometimes, I have actually avoided chocolate for maybe 1 to 2 years. And when I do start eating it again, I notice exactly the same thing, that I get so out of control that I just stop caring about everything else in the room. All I want to do is eat more chocolate, and I would do anything to get it. I'll get in my car, I'll go and drive to the shop, I'll go and buy the chocolate, and I wouldn't do that for anything else. And hearing her say that just made me realise that actually I do have a chocolate addiction. And it sounds really silly. It sounds like, oh yes, oh, of course everyone's got a chocolate addiction, but for some people it is actually an addiction. And they've shown that the chemicals in your brain that make you addicted to all kinds of drugs and alcohol and stuff, when you get addicted to food, it's exactly the same reaction that happens in the brain. And sometimes it's worse to deal with, because people just make light of it. They don't even take it seriously. So I have decided from this moment on that I am not going to eat chocolate ever again. And I am saying that publicly to the world. And if you come across anything that I've ever written where I say I like chocolate, it's probably something old, because from this moment on I am not going to eat chocolate again. And I really want your support, and I would love you to think about, is there anything that you are addicted to, and would you be willing to give it up and join me? And I found this cool little test that you can take to see if you have a food addiction. And when I took it, sure enough, I answered yes to everything. And yes, I definitely have an addiction to chocolate. Although it really hurts me to say that, because I love chocolate and I actually can't imagine my life without chocolate. So this is in real time, you are going to see me give up chocolate. And I'll let you know in the future emails, future videos, how it goes for me. but I have created some great steps that I'm going to follow myself to rid myself of my chocolate addiction, and I want to share these with you, and I want you to do it with me. And I also want to let you know that we are currently in the middle of my brand new 7-day challenge called Clean Eating in a Hurry. And today is actually the last day of the challenge, which is really sad, but for you it could be the turning point to a better future. During today's video, which I have called Adios Addictions, brace yourself for this one. It's a tough one, but I promise it is going to be worth it for you. It's going to be worth it for me, for us to break free from our addictions and get exactly what we want in our life without being controlled by food. So I'm going to give you my test to see if you have an addiction. I'm going to give you my steps so you can rid yourself of your own addiction for good, so you can finally be free, healthy, and fit into those skinny jeans again. So go to greenthickies.com/clean to sign up for my free challenge and get today's video before it disappears for good in just 24 hours. And I can't wait for us to do this journey together. Take care.